Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for Married at First Sight, Season 15, Episode 14. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content. Now, child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. 10 days until decision day. Stasha and Nate, they went to the sex shop to get some vibrating panties, honey, and it's time for the couples retreat. So Justin is like, yeah, the guys may spend a little time together. The girls can spend some time together. The guys may spend some time, playing Monopoly. Justin, see, this is the issue. This is why she stay on Captain Crunch and can't get no Aquafina down below, honey, because you talking about y'all finna sit around and play Monopoly. Poor gone. So then we see Kristen with the Y and Mitch. They're getting all packed, and he's hoping that they can talk on the way to the retreat. He trying to make sure everything's good, honey, because he don't want no fusserization when they get down to the vacation of it all. Lindy and Miguel. Y'all, Lindy and Miguel. Why must y'all be my problem children? We just got rid of old Mean Mug and Morgan and Frugal Ben, and here we are with y'all this week. Baby, this episode was a fool, honey, but we gonna get into it. Miguel gifts Lindy this dress, right? He gifts her this beautiful, sparkly sequence dress. And he tells her, since she never had a prom, they're going to recreate the prom for her. Now, mind you, he's putting together a prom for her to recreate what she did not get. Now, I'm going to tell y'all one thing before we get into it. I love that idea. Now, I don't know if y'all have been following me for a long time or not, but I have said before that my dream when I do find my person is for them to recreate my prom because it was awful. Yes, I had a prom, but it was the prom from hell. And there's no other way to explain it. It was just the prom from hell. So everybody's getting on the road, right? And in Kristen and Mitch's car, they're talking about what happened at the pool party. So she was like, yeah, I snapped. I just apologized. Why are you apologizing for your true feelings? Why do you continue to do that, Kristen with the why? Why? Why do you keep doing that? I want you to stand in it. That is how you felt in that moment, and that is okay. Why do you always retract how you feel? He's like, yeah, I felt attacked. I felt like you were saying things that I didn't say. So we see a flashback of them in the kitchen where he's telling her he's not trying to change her. And she's like, I would never tell you I wanted you to be more snazzy. So the two of them are arguing back and forth. And she's like, I'm just losing my mind. I'm sorry. I'm being ridiculous. Oh, my goodness. How is he somehow the victim? Now, this is gaslighting at its finest. Okay, so she tells him that she does want to be in a marriage where the person tells her, that they actually want to be with her. So he's like, well, I do think that you're smart, you're beautiful, and you make a great partner. Basically, you is kind, you is smart, you is important. Sure, it's giving the help. Moving forward. So she was like, thank you in true Kristen fashion because you've never said anything like that to me. And child, it's the bare minimum for me. So the couple start to arrive at the house. I hope Mitch doesn't have a fit, honey, because they're in a big house and not tents on the beach. But the house is beautiful. I said, okay, come on through, Married at First Sight. Hopefully nobody comes through tearing up the recreational spaces and whatnot. Shout out to Michaela. So everyone arrives, and they're all in the kitchen talking about Lindy's prom, right? And I think that that's really nice of them to do that for Lindy, knowing that she was unable to have her own prom. So everyone is getting all snazzy, honey, getting themselves together. And I feel like everybody cleaned up really nice. So Mitch told Kristen, I know Lindy will be the prom queen tonight, but you're my prom queen. Child, Mitch landed on thick, ain't he? Now, I would say, oh, that's so sweet. Had you not said you didn't want her in any makeup. So tonight, going to the prom, I'm pretty sure she's giving her zhuzh. And we all know you don't like that zhuzh, Mitch. So for me, it's like I'm listening to you, but I don't know. I just feel like you don't want to know on decision day. I feel like he likes Kristen. I don't know. I really don't know how to explain Mitch. It's a conundrum. Moving forward. So Justin is helping Alexis put on her shoes, right? And she's like, have you done this for a woman, before? And he's like, no. She was like, yeah, because I know you have problems, helping me take off my bra. He was like, I can't take it off if I can't see it. Why? Why did you have to tell everybody he had a problem taking off your bra? And then we find out they had sex. Alexis is so embarrassing. She will be one of those parents where you're like, Mom, please don't tell anybody this. Oh, I'm not. Get right on the phone and tell every embarrassing thing that she can tell. Alexis, you are not to be trusted. Stop doing that. Child, and I'm trying to figure out who lying. Because on the after party, you said that y'all tried and failed. So were you just trying to let us know that it wasn't good on the after party? I don't know. She got a little lying problem, child. So in Lindy and Miguel's room, she is trying to get a photo, right? This is where all hell breaks loose, okay? She's trying to get a photo. So he's not taking it right. And she's like, no, don't take it like that. Now, I could hear that she was playing in her voice. I could tell that it wasn't serious. She just didn't want him to take it how he was taking it, right? But he took offense to it. So he's speaking about her tone. He's like, I'm not in the mood to be your personal photographer. Oh, okay, honey. Marriage over. Marriage over. If you don't want to get my angles, then you're done, honey. And I ain't playing with you. Because who else is going to take her pictures for her, Miguel? Isn't this a prom that you orchestrated for your wife? So why wouldn't she want to take pictures of herself in her dress? What are you even talking about? And one other thing I want to add. You created that spoiled brat. Now you want to act like you're annoyed. You were waiting on her hand and foot, put her on the insurance when she said so. You're cooking for her every 5 minutes. On the after party, you said when she gets hangry, you slide her snacks. Now all of a sudden you annoyed? What's wrong with taking pictures of your wife? I feel like Miguel took that too seriously. It wasn't that big of a deal. I don't feel like she was being, crazy Lindy and making him do something. I just feel like she wanted him to take the picture and he wasn't taking the picture right. Anyway, in the next scene, everybody comes down for the prom and Miguel looks like he doesn't even want to be there. I hate when people ruin a perfectly good evening. If you didn't want to show up, honey, you could have stayed in the room. You were laying down as you stated. He's like, I'm laying down and then you want me to take a photo. It's like you don't care about what's going on with me. It's like you don't care about me. Since you were laying down, you should have stayed in the room. So they have these yearbooks and prom decorations and everybody's having a good time. They're taking pictures. They're dancing. So Lindy asked Miguel for a slow dance. So he's still mad about the picture. So she's apologizing to him. Miguel is like, you gaslighted me saying you were just playing when you know that you weren't just playing. She's like, I thought you were playing too. He's like, no, you were legit annoyed. If she wasn't, I am right now. I'm definitely annoyed. She's like, well, when I thought you were messing with me, I said, come on, do it right. He's like, yeah, that tone, not with me, ever. Don't talk to me like that again, ever. Ooh. He's like, why would you talk to me like that? She's like, I'm sorry. It was just a missed joke. He's like, stop with the joke and pick a side. She said, I was frustrated because you were joking. He said, I wasn't joking though. The bottom line is this. You were being pissy because she asked you to take a picture. And instead of you saying no, you half-assed the picture and then got mad that she got upset. Y'all are talking in circles. Okay? You're talking in circles. So Miguel is saying to her that she is never to talk to him like that. And she's never talked to him like that before. She said, I just feel like I'm not being heard. And he said, I don't like how easily that you're getting annoyed. I just don't like how easily you get annoyed. She said, well, I didn't think that I was yelling. He said, yeah, well, okay, I won't say yelling. Okay. But you were getting loud. Your tone went up. This is giving me Michael and Jasmina when she said Michael yelled at her and we never, and I do mean never, got to the bottom of it. It's giving Michael and Jasmina. But the only difference is we actually heard Lindy and she was not yelling at you, Miguel, and her tone was not elevated. It was more of an annoyance. Like, stop playing. I look cute. I want you to take a picture of me. That's what it was giving me. It was not giving what you're talking about. Anyway, he was like, your tone went up and you had an outburst. She was like, outburst? So y'all, he using these loaded words, right? So then Lindy got upset and she was like, you're right. I'm a terrible person. Okay. I'm terrible. Okay. Miguel is the perfect jerk prom date. If you wanted a real prom experience, baby, you got it. Okay, can't get any more realistic than this. She did not gaslight you. You know what? People get on my nerves with the misuse of that word. That's the quickest way to lose me in conversation, honey. I will cut you completely the hell off, accusing me of that when I'm not doing that. Because see, the thing is, a person who gaslights you, they're a narcissist. And that person is doing it because they want to make you feel crazy. And I don't like when people use that word and that's not exactly what's happening. That's just not what's happening. She explained it, she apologized, and you still going. So I feel like in this moment, you gaslighting her. So her yelling at you for the insurance was okay. But her being bratty over an Instagram picture she about to post, that's going too far. Miguel, please. She been telling you this whole time that she could get to a 10, but I don't feel like she was at a 10. I don't even feel like she was at a 3. She was excited, dressed up in this dress that you bought her, and she wanted the picture. That's just that on that. Moving forward. So she was like, well, I don't know what to say to you. He said, at this moment, you can't say anything. But I feel like this is just our biggest hurdle. I'm so confused as to how this is carried on all night. I am so confused at this. She's afraid that she's going to lose him if she does something wrong. Lindy, you should have never told him about how crazy you can get, because now he feels like whenever you get upset, it's you going off on him when it's really not. And you did give us a sneak peek of your crazy. So, I mean, he should be able to decipher the difference. So she tells him that she can work on it and she wants to be better and she's sorry, and he just looking crazy. Child, this is a fool. So after this weird exchange, it's time for the awards ceremony. They get up there and they do the awards. It's Kristen with the Y and Alexis. Side note, Alexis, you looked stunning. You looked very pretty. That's one thing I have to give Alexis, honey. She gonna show up on screen to the fullest if she don't do nothing else, okay? And she looked very pretty. Anywho, let's continue. So they pass out the awards. Life of the party goes to Alexis. She's like, yeah, my husband said I can't go out no more. Oh, child, there she go. Best dancer. Kristen thought it was going to be her. Kristen, you and your flat back twerk. You should have known it wasn't going to be you. Oh, Kristen with the Y. Oh, child. She thought her and her moves like Jagger were going to get it, but it was Nate. The biggest drama queen is Lindy. Honey, it should have been Miguel, but that's neither here nor there. That's just a side note. Most emotional, it was Justin. Honey, the way that cameraman panned over to Justin's face, honey, it better have been Justin. Justin, please don't cry on the mic, honey. Ain't nothing worse than a wet mic. Most likely to save the planet, Mitch. And Mitch also got the class clown. Do y'all know what a class clown is? You got to have a fun personality to be a class clown. I could see that going to Nate before I see it going to Mitch. Best all around is Stasha. Aw, I don't know. I don't know about that award. I like Stasha, but I don't know, child. I don't know who it would be. I would give it to Kristen with the Y, but then she goes back and she does things. I don't know, child. Anywho, we'll give it to Stasha. Biggest gossip, of course, it's Alexis. But honey, you need to share with Justin. He's a gossip girl as well. Nate is like, in a confessional, she's a gossip queen. She caused Ben and Morgan's divorce straight up. Oh, I love me some Nate dog. Oh, child, baby, Nate gonna give it to you straight, no chaser. He can't stand Alexis. Do y'all hear me? He cannot stand Alexis, and I am here for it every time he get in that confessional. Moving forward. The next award is most likely to stay married, Lindy and Miguel. Honey, I don't agree. I think these two and their communication sucks. And she will have to walk on eggshells and he gonna resent her. And it's just gonna be a mess, honey. They giving these speeches the whole time. Miguel pissed over pictures. So y'all giving these speeches and accepting these awards, honey, it's giving lie. I would have voted Stasha and Nate for most likely to stay married. For one, they seem to have a fun relationship. You know, enough of, picking on Nate. Nate is there. He day trading and whatnot, child. Trade your day or whatever day you trade, whatever you gonna do. I feel like Stasha and Nate are a good pair. I really do. And I feel like they might go the distance as long as Stasha relinquishes control sometime and Nate is a little bit more structured at times. Okay, you can't always be playing and you can't always be serious. So I feel like the two of them are finally getting their footing, and I think they might be all right. They might be all right. Most likely to have several divorces. Kristen was like, it's me. I voted for myself. I was like, oh my gosh, child, is Kristen tipsy? Everybody in the prom getting tipsy. Baby, Kristen is tipsy, honey. Oh, okay, so Mitch, it might definitely be a no on decision day. Child, this is awkward AF. Everybody looking around like, oh, she's very excited to be most likely to have several divorces. Kristen, that ain't good, honey, because that is saying up front, Mitch, me and you are damned if we do and damned if we don't. Now on to the prom king and queen, Miguel and Lindy. Child, it's time for their first dance. Miguel is nobody's prom king. He been making Lindy miserable since they got there. Okay, since the prom started. So he's definitely nobody's prom king. So everybody's dancing, having a good time. And I have to say, I loved this little impromptu prom. It was cute. It had a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade. I loved it. I loved everything about it. Honey, I thought that was so fun. And it was a different element to add to the retreat because, they always do the physical things like they do the volleyball, they do the couples games where they sit down and who knows who best and stuff like that. But this prom, it was just so cute to me. So everybody's back in their rooms, right? So Kristen is like, that was so fun, right? Here go Mitch. Yeah. Kristen, ain't nothing fun about you telling this man that you're about to be divorced from him. I think you were doing that passive aggressively. Honey, you was like, I'm going to get my lick back one way or the other. Child, this is a whole fool. So Miguel and Lindy are talking about their little spat in their room, right? So as they're talking and laying in bed, Stasha and Nate come in with the sex swing. So Stasha was like, well, we don't know exactly what's going on with Lindy and Miguel, but we feel like something is off. So we just came bearing gifts. This isn't the same one y'all used, is it? Ew, yuck. I mean, good looking, we're trying to come in and save the day and whatnot, but not with this used swing, child. And your lady bit's been in it. Child, Nate is up there demonstrating how to do the swing and whatnot. He spread eagle. Then Miguel and Lindy take over. And it's just a bit too much togetherness for me. Honey, drop the swing off and go. Okay? Because y'all looking like y'all ready to get into it as y'all get into it with them getting into it as they get into it. So everybody just get out. Stasha and Nate, get the hell out. Get the hell out. Ooh, child. Moving forward. So everyone is waking up. It's the next morning after prom, and they're all doing different activities, right? Justin and Alexis. So they're doing a wine tasting at a vineyard, and the wine has their name on it, right? And she's like, oh, we should, drink this on our 1-year anniversary. Girl, you better pop that top tonight. Girl, ain't gonna be no 1-year anniversary. Anywho, girl gone. So they sit down and she's like, everybody's saying you so smiley. Girl, ain't nobody saying that but you. Okay, I ain't heard nobody say nothing about him being smiley because they don't know he got none. Okay, he got the golden ticket. And what else is going on? Y'all had the sex of it all. You just fishing for compliments and you ain't fooling me. So she's like, well, do you feel like the energy is different? He said, no. She said, oh, I feel like it is. He said, when I give myself to someone, it means something. So he said to her, it was great, but I still feel like my energy is the same. Well, I have to disagree on one part. Now, I don't know if the sex was great, honey, because she's saying something else. You talking about it felt like y'all made love. I saw heaven when I made sweet love to you last night. Honey, you giving last night. And she over here saying, break me off, show me what you got, because I don't want no 1-minute man. Woo. Honey, because that's exactly what she said was going on over there with you. He was like, I just feel like my energy is the same. So I'm going to have to disagree on one part. Your energy has been different since meeting with Dr. Pia. And when she said that she couldn't see herself being married to you, your energy shifted after that. Let's just keep it real. No matter if y'all had sex or not. And I think Alexis is using this sex as a Band-Aid to try to skate on past the fact that she said she didn't see herself being married to this man. Honey, he ain't forgot. And don't think he forgot. He didn't forget that. Moving forward. So, in the confessional, he was like, yeah, it took a while, but I'm still learning my wife. And, so they're talking. And he says, in the 8 weeks that he can't say that he's given his all. You ain't gave your all? So you gave up Maya. And that's not your all? Oh, okay. Honey, I hate to see what your all is. Honey, you going to mortgage your house, sell your car, walk to work? What you going to do? Oh, child. So he said he needs more time, to process how he feels about everything. And she's like, well, I feel like I've given my all. Girl, you do. He's totally different from you. He said, I just feel like it takes time. So in the confessional, she's like, I'm a woman that knows what I want. Yeah, you are a woman that knows what you want, and what you want is not Justin. The sex seems like it changed you instead of him. What are you talking about? You don't like Justin like that. Let's just be real. So she's like, well, yeah, I just need to learn you because, I can use that for various situations. He said, well, remember when I told you I was worried about you quitting? That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, because he ain't no fool, honey. He feels like you're going to say no on decision day. So I feel like he's emotionally distancing himself from Alexis, Mitch, and Kristen. So they're doing archery. Mitch, stay behind, honey. When it's Kristen's turn with that bow and arrow, I'm just saying. Stay back. So Mitch is like, I'm just happy that she's happy. But, I'm kind of thrown off that she voted for herself most likely to divorce. Maybe I should ask her about it, but maybe I won't. Yeah, don't ask, honey. Don't ask and it won't be no problems. So Kristen comes up with a game where they write down these words and throw arrows at them to basically dead them. So she writes attraction and he writes pool gate. And she tells him, I have a different outlook on pool gate because I feel like without it, I wouldn't have gotten those positive affirmations. So you had to do all that for him to speak positive words to you? I don't know how I feel about that, child. I am, however, happy that these two are able to put things aside and enjoy each other's company, but it's always so short-lived. It's like it's good, then it's bad. Lindy and Miguel. So they're going on a horse and carriage ride, right? So Miguel is like, I'm feeling pretty good after we had our conversation about our miscommunication. I'm really, feeling really good about that. So on the horse and carriage ride, Miguel is dropping bars. And he's like, yeah, I see you with my feet, and I see you in a seat, and I see you looking neat, and you're really sweet, and I just can't repeat the things that can't be beat. Boy, if you don't shut it up. If you don't shut up. So the whole time he's speaking and rapping or whatever he doing, child, she's like, oh, look, a bunny. Look at that horse. And when she was doing that, I was actually laughing because, girl, you're so uninterested. He's like, yeah, I mean, it's better with the music. She's like, oh, yeah. Okay, so this is pretty. So she's steady ignoring him, right? Lindy could care less about the haiku of it all. Honey, I don't know exactly what's happening, but she could care less about it. But I have to say this, Lindy, it is rude to continue to talk about something else while someone's trying to get your attention. But Miguel, right now, I don't think was the time. I really don't. He's like in the confession, I can't stand the over talking. And, if I wasn't so irritable, it would be cool. But right now I'm running on fumes and I'm about to explode. He's like, I'm simply just existing. Well, if you weren't using the carriage ride as the cipher, then she might have not been talking about the birds, the bees, and the trees, honey. She don't want to hear about that. If you want to be on the BET Hip Hop Awards, then you should have called. Oh my goodness. Eminem, this is not 8 Mile. Now, if you want to continue to rap, you're going to have to find somebody else, child, because Lindy is unfocused and uncaring, honey, and she don't care nothing about it. So they sit down and she brings up, something being like Dungeons and Dragons, like the scene being like Dungeons and Dragons, right? And he's like, yeah, it could be. So he starts talking about how it could be. And then she brings up people on their iPhones. She's like, look at them over there. They're on their iPhones. And I'm not being funny. Like, why is your attention span this way? This is rude as hell. I hate for people to ignore what I'm talking about. Okay, now I have to side with Miguel on that. Lindy, you might need to be checked out the way that you zone in and out of conversations. Either you're just rude or you might need to be you might need to see someone, because that's not normal for someone to be talking to you in mid-sentence. You're talking about something totally different. Now, I didn't agree with him as far as that picture is concerned, but you just talking over him constantly, that's not okay. Moving forward. She's like, so how are you doing? He said, I don't even want to talk to you. I don't even want to talk because you're just going to go ahead and change the subject. She's like, I'm trying. I mean, it's a part of my personality. He goes, oh, okay. So it's a part of your personality to cut people off and divert your attention elsewhere. She said, yeah. Lindy crazy, Miguel crazy, Alexis crazy, Justin crazy, Kristen crazy, Mitch crazy. They all crazy. Oh, child. I'm going to go and leave Nate and Stasha out of it, honey, because they've been all right lately. Oh, honey, this is a fool. She said, so I can't comment on things around me. I can't tell you when things look pretty. You can, Lindy, but not in the middle of him completing a sentence. You cannot do it then. So Miguel is really not feeling Lindy on this retreat, honey. Although I understand when he was talking about the picture, I also feel like he's using anything to pick a fight because of his nerves. That's what I really think it boils down to. I feel like he's picking a fight because of his nerves, and decision day is getting closer. So he's picking apart every single thing that he doesn't like. It was cool about a week ago. Now all of a sudden it's a problem. She's like, I've never had someone get so offended. I've never had anyone call me out on it. He said, well, you've never had a husband stick around. Sir, you are her first husband. Have you had anybody stick around? Boy, listen, I would have gone off on Miguel. Honey, I would have gone off on him. Baby, she better than me. He said, I just really get tired of drawing your attention to what you're doing wrong. So she starts crying. She walks away with her producer. And she was like, I'm just so tired of feeling like I'm not enough for this man. I'm confused because I have seen him say that she was the moon and the stars above. So I don't understand. I feel like you're not used to him calling you out when he's upset. That's what I think it is. So he goes over there to get her, right? So they sit down and he apologizes for making her cry. Miguel is a jerk when he gets upset. A full-on jerk. So she does an interview and she's like, at what point do I put my foot down? I don't know, girl, but you better start putting it down soon. So she was like, well, I'm going to try to change it. I'm going to work on it, but I just want you to give me a little bit of grace. So Miguel called their miscommunication a blow up. And she's like, what? This is not a blow up. This is a very mature exchange. You don't want to see a blow up. See, Lindy, that right there is why he's behaving like an asswipe. You can't say to him, you don't want to see a blow up. No man wants to hear that. Oh, you don't want to see my crazy. That's a challenge. You're challenging him. So why would you say that? I agree with her, however, that this to me was not a blow up. Okay, it really was not. I don't think he knows what a blow up is. So in her confessional, she's like, he can't handle my outbursts. Do I think he's going to stick around and accept me for me? No, I do not. Honey, I don't think so either. I don't think so. Moving forward. In the next scene, the men are out there talking and they're looking for Miguel, right? So Justin is like, well, if they miss dinner, then some got to be wrong. Here go Mitch. Well, they're a little late, but I'm not going to question their entire marriage. Mitch, you don't understand. A gossip girl love a good mess, okay? So he's sitting over there ready to get the mess started so he can run it back to Alexis. So in the kitchen, the women are wondering where Miguel and Lindy are as well. So Stasha's like, well, I heard you and Justin did the deed. Kristen said, well, how was it? She's like, the first time is always awkward, okay? They're learning you. They're learning your body. I call BS, okay? Because I done had some first times, honey, and when the mood is right and the vibe is right and your bodies are connected and they know what they doing and you know what you're doing, it's not awkward. So, I don't know where you been, honey, because I done had some people put it down. And they going to put it down, I'm going to fall in love. Child, shout out to Chris Brown and Brandy. So I don't really know what you're talking about. They have to learn your body. Girl, goodbye. Anywho, it could be awkward. Don't get me wrong. But if you know what you're doing, honey, you ain't got to learn nobody. So she was like, yeah, he's been abstinent for a year and a half, so his stamina wasn't where I needed to be. Oh, okay, so Mitch is in good company. So she's like, yeah, he told me that he was intimidated. Why would you share that with them? Why? So now that you can't share that he's celibate, now you're going to share with them that he was intimidated by you. Okay. Alexis, I really don't think you working with nothing anyway. I feel like you went in there like the teacher. No, baby, and saying all this kind of stuff, the kind of stuff you be saying. But I don't really just feel like you an expert either. I'm just saying. So she asked them if the sex wasn't good, but he was an amazing guy, would they stay? Basically, should I choose him on decision day or no? Because the sex is whack. That's what I got from it. So Stasha was like, well, sex isn't a determining factor. Stasha, cut the bull. Because I can almost guarantee you, if Nate was not doing what Nate was supposed to be doing, you would be having a full-on fit and you would be verbalizing the fact that you are sexually unsatisfied. It's not the determining factor, like the end-all be-all, but a bad sex life is not what it is, especially in a marriage. Honey, you can't dip outside of a marriage. You can't dip outside of a relationship either. But a marriage is totally different. Girl, it has to be something popping in the bedroom or it ain't gonna work for me. Moving forward. Miguel and Lindy finally get back and they're telling him that they were about to send a search party, honey, looking for him because he was taking a long time. And he did tell them that they had an argument. He's like, yeah, I'm just irritable. I'm grumpy. So Mitch asks, well, what will put you in a good mood? Here go Nate, offering up that community sex swing. Would you like the sex swing again? So Justin was like, explain this sex swing to me. Is it made for 6-8 people? Nate said, you could get on the swing if you like, but it's made for a woman. He said, yeah, that's what I mean. Justin, how many times have you had sex? Okay, I really think that this man was a virgin before him and Alexis did the do. Now, I don't know, so I'm going to say allegedly, but it's just some of the things he says and some of the ways that he says them, it leads me to believe that he's very, very inexperienced. It really does. So in the kitchen, they're talking about sex and Alexis brings up sex toys and she's like, I don't like sex toys. I don't use them. As long as my man has what he needs, then why would I need that? Well, to each its own, honey. Some people like the toys, some people don't. Stasha was like, it's to enhance things. It's all about what you like. Do what you want to do in your bedroom. So Kristen was like, well, I have 3. Well, child, we hope they last longer than a minute, okay? Kristen wants to know, with all the ups and downs, do you still have sex with your spouse? Because Stasha was asking if things were still on pause. Well, I'm going to tell you my personal preference. If things are up and down, it's a no for me sexually. I can't do it if my emotions aren't in it. Now, everybody is different. So maybe you can. But for me, it's a no. So she was like, we are in a good place since Poolgate. So, I mean, you just never know. So they're like, well, do you think that you're going to say yes on decision day? She's like, she's unsure as well. So Stasha is over there telling her, I mean, you're not going to find anybody that's perfect. You're never going to find a perfect match. Stasha, I hear you, but I'm not about to carry on if I think you're not attracted to me. That is a huge thing. And although Mitch is playing the role right now, because I don't think he wants to look like the villain on TV, it's something just ain't right. I'm not saying that he cannot be attracted to Kristen, because I think Kristen's a very pretty lady. And I love the way that she puts herself together. And every time I see her on the after party, I'm like, Kristen is so cute. So it's not that I don't think that he could be physically attracted to her, but you cannot turn that switch on and off like that. And the fact that he did not want her to wear makeup, and here she is tonight in her makeup, in her dress, I just don't feel like that's real. Moving forward. So while they talking about all that, honey, meanwhile, Stasha and Nate are trying to figure out how to put the vibrating panties on and wear them to dinner. Lindy and Miguel. So she asked the producer to take a video of her, right? And he's like, I could have taken it. She's like, no, I mean, I just don't want to inconvenience. I don't want to offend you. Like, basically, I don't want to get nothing started. So now he's sitting there pissed because she didn't ask him. He's like, I just want you to know that it's not like you can't ever ask me to take a picture for you. Miguel, what the hell is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? You had a full-on fit last time. Now you're mad because she's trying to delegate things to somebody else. Now one could say she was being passive-aggressive, like you didn't want to take the picture last time, so I'm going to get somebody else to take the picture. I can see both sides. But Miguel, she can't win for losing. You're pissed because she sees you sitting down, laying down. But then when she asks somebody else, now that's a problem. She's like, oh my God, I just cannot win. He's like, well, read the room. How's my energy right now? Well, your energy is giving me that you need a Midol. That's what it's giving me. Sir, what are you on right now? This is what happens when you've been faking this entire time like your spouse is perfect, when you knew that there were things that bothered you. This is what happens. She's like, okay, you're replenished, so now I can ask, but if you're not replenished, then I should let you replenish. Girl, why do you keep putting a T in replenish? You and Alexis are making up words, and it's getting on my nerve. I'm about to pull out my red pen, honey. I'm about to pull out my red pen. It's giving 0%, okay? Replenish, not replenish. Girl, goodbye. So she was like, I didn't even want to mess around with it. That's why I just left it alone. So he tells her she needs to understand, because if not, she's not listening to him, and hours upon hours of conversation with her, it's not making a difference. He's not getting through to her. So she asked him for a hug because she's thinking everything's all good, because he said, when she said, okay, yeah, he said, do you understand me? Or he said something like, am I making sense? And she said, yeah, I understand. So she's thinking it's all good, right? So she asked him for a hug. He said, no, I'm not connected to you right now. Okay, I'm going to say this because I was trying to hold off on saying it, but I can't hold off no longer. Miguel is actually quite creepy. This whole mood shift that he's having, it's a mess. He should have gotten with Morgan. Now, if she would have rejected him in that way, then it would have been World War III. But you can reject her and it's okay because you don't feel connected to her in that moment. You're that mad because she asked the producer to take a video of her? Come on, Miguel. Moving forward. I feel like he just finding any old reason to be upset. So she's in the restroom crying, and he comes knocking on the door. Y'all are both making me mad. She has literally cried the entire retreat, and here he comes again to apologize. I think he's trying to get her to a 10 so he can have an excuse to say no. That's what I really think. He thinks she's going to have a Lindsay moment in the restroom, but she's having a Lindy moment in the restroom. Instead of yelling and fussing and cussing you out, she's just crying and crying and crying. He's like, what do you need from me? To go to hell, respectfully, okay? So she's telling him how she felt when he wouldn't hug her. And he's like, I wasn't feeling connected to you. Miguel is very mean, to be honest. He is very mean. Notice the tone in his voice and the way he looks at Lindy when he gets upset. It's not a regular, I'm upset with you. It's almost like a sleeping with the enemy type tone. I don't know. The tone is very weird for me. It's very weird for me, honey. I might be alone, honey, but I'm just saying, child, I would take myself and go. Okay, I wouldn't be able to be bothered. In the next scene, the couples get to the dinner table and they're looking for Miguel and Lindy. So Justin is like, well, maybe they need to work things out and they want to do that alone. They don't want to do that at the table in front of everybody. So Kristen is like, you know what? That's actually right. You're right. That's a good point. Of course, Alexis is looking crazy, honey, because how dare Justin say anything of substance and somebody actually agree with it? She hates to hear him speak. Every time he says something, she's rolling her eyes. You're not the only one that can say something, Alexis. Moving forward. So Stasha and Nate are in the interview and she's like, oh yeah, they had sex. So he's like, those two? She's like, yeah, intercourse. He said, oh, okay, well, I mean, congrats. So she's telling him, she's like, yeah, she says she's a pleaser. So as long as the man is satisfied, then basically she's okay with it. Kind of like, just brushing past it. But in the gist of it is she said Justin wasn't all that great. So back at the table, Mitch asks Kristen for a kiss. And they're like, oh, okay, Mitch. I've never seen that before. That's so sweet. Here comes miserable Alexis. So you're attracted to your wife now? Ugh. He said, yes, I am. Why do you feel the need to cross-examine him? Worry about your own relationship, Alexis. Worry about you. So while that's going on, Nate is buzzing Stasha's Hello Kitty left and right. Baby, her lady bits are going to the electric chair at this moment. Nate, stop buzzing. Stop buzzing them panties. She is going crazy while they're talking. She's squirming all in the seat. Everybody's looking at her like, girl, what is wrong with you? So Alexis is like, are you wearing vibrating panties? So she gets up and runs away. So he gets up and goes behind her. And Kristen is like, oh my gosh. Well, if she is, I support it. I'm an ally. Well, honey, we know you are. You and your 3 rabbits. Here go Alexis. I am as well. Girl, I thought you didn't do the toy thing. Alexis just be saying any old thing. I think it's a fun idea to do that. I think it's, I think it's hot, but not the way that Nate was doing it. Okay. It's supposed to be discreet. You discreetly push the button. Then you look at each other like, yeah, meet me in the restroom in 5 minutes. Not what you doing, child. You push the button once, not every 2 seconds. So he's like, sorry, I didn't know how to turn it off. Child, you lying. You did that on purpose. Moving forward. So after dinner, they go to check on Miguel and Lindy. And he's saying how his energy was just low and he was grumpy. He was moody. He was being mean to Lindy. He didn't mean it. He's sorry. He needs to make things right. Okay. This is my final consensus. Miguel is being low-key abusive with the mean streaks and then keeping it going until she cries, then apologizing, then doing it all over again. This is not right at all. Okay? Every time you get in a setting with the entire group, you want to give this blanketed statement of apology to Lindy. But when you're with her, you continue until she cries. You chase behind her. You talk to her for a little bit. You calm her down. You apologize. And then it starts all over again. That is a cycle of abuse. And I ain't changing it. I ain't changing it. So, baby, then here comes Kristen with the why. Baby, to break up the tension. And she's dressed as Mitch. That fanny pack bouncing and that ball wig cap had me screaming. Baby, the way she had that ball wig cap on and that fanny pack with that shirt. Ooh, honey. Mitch better keep Kristen. He better keep her because she makes him halfway likable. Oh, child, that was so funny to me. I said, Kristen is crazy, honey. That was so funny. He was a good sport about it, though. He laughed it off, and I was a little bit shocked. I did like the fact that he could take a joke. In the next scene, it's the next morning, and they're going to play dodgeball. Here go Miguel in his confessional talking about, yeah, I'm just really over the retreat. I'm ready to go home. I'm ready for you to go home as well. You have drained me just watching you. So you really can go. You can hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. Goodbye. So they're all trying to figure out how they're going to do the teams. So they've decided that they're going to split the couples up, and some people are going to be on some team and some other people are going to be on another team. So Miguel again starts with the, performative apology, telling Lindy they need to find a way to make it work, and he wants to stay married to her. Anyway. So Mitch was like, well, basically, marriage is a lot like dodgeball. You can continue to run and dodge the problems, or you can stand your ground and catch the damn ball. Okay, Mitch. That was actually a good one. Okay. So they go out to choose teams. Of course, Nate didn't choose Justin, honey. He knows Alexis is the more athletic of the two. And child ain't fooling me. So they start playing. And I'm telling you right now, honey, if I were Lindy, I would have been lighting Miguel up. Do you hear me? I would have, bah, 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 brrr. Baby, I would have been throwing, I would have been throwing them balls so hard at him. So they're playing. And it's time for the showdown between Miguel and Nate. So Lindy is like, rapid fire, Nate, rapid fire. He's like, I'm your husband. I mean, words of affirmation go a long way. Shut up, Miguel. Shut up. Y'all are on separate teams. I don't ever want to hear Miguel speak again. I really don't. He has been a wet blanket this entire retreat. I have enjoyed Mitch more than I have enjoyed seeing Miguel. Like, you can really just go. You really can just go. I'm trying to figure out if I owe Lindy an apology or not. Because, baby, ain't no way I could make it through Miguel's menses every month. It's no way, honey. We cannot be on at the same time. And you know they say when you hang around a person at the same time, honey, your menstrual cycles come down at the same time. So maybe that's what's going on, child. I have no idea. So Nate's team is sitting down. They're talking about the game because they ended up winning. And Lindy said that, you know, she feels bad that Miguel thought she was not on his team, but she literally was not on his team. She wasn't trying to be ugly. And she's like, I'm just so exhausted because I feel like I've been holding it all in. I'm walking on eggshells. Everything I say bothers him. And he's over there telling them that Lindy has him walking on eggshells. Both of y'all been fake. That's what's been going on. When you hold everything in and you finally explode, then you figure out you don't like each other and you don't like each other's personality. And you didn't like her personality since she asked to be on your insurance and since she wouldn't take your last name. And you didn't want to take his last name because you wanted to make sure he wasn't just playing with you past the 8 weeks. So it's both of y'all. So Lindy tells them, you know, every time she's around him, she feels like she can't do anything right. And you know, she just feels like she doesn't want to be his punching bag. I couldn't be with a person that's offended by everything. I couldn't. Because, you know, I'm going to say a little joke, you know, and that's just who I am. And I want to be able to be me. And I want you to like me. I want you to meet me and say, wow, I like everything about Misha. She is so cool. This is what I admire about you, not what you want me to be. That's the same thing Kristen doing. So she's telling him, you know, she's trying to learn him, and then she does something else wrong and he keeps rejecting her. He didn't want to give her a hug. And she was like, you know, I just feel like I've been harboring things and I'm just ready to, I feel like he's ready to bounce. The look on Nate's face when she was talking, he was looking like, now how did I get in it? Poor Nate. So over with him. He wants to know how they can overcome it without despising each other. Back over here with her, on the other hand, she's like, I'm just tired of crying. Her, on the other hand, she's tired and crying yet again. Lord, I know she was sleepy on this retreat. Because you know when you cry, your eyes get just as heavy. And she has been crying ever since she got here. Oh, child, I know she's sleepy. Moving forward. All I know is the whole time that Lindy is speaking, Alexis can't wait to go home to Tree so she can shade. Y'all see what I did there? Tree and shade. I know she can't wait to go home to Tree so she can shade Lindy and Miguel and tell her all their business. And she ain't fooling me, honey. I wouldn't tell her nothing. I don't care what it is. I'm not repeating it in front of Alexis unless you want the world to know. Child, and that was the end of the episode. Lindy and Miguel wore me out. It was like Groundhog's Day. They were literally having the same argument over and over again. I am so confused by what is happening. Miguel really showed his true colors, honey. Let me tell you something. It's one thing to be annoyed, but that tone of voice he was using and the way he was speaking to her and the way he was looking, I go by the way you look. Okay? It's all about the way the message is coming across to me. And when I look at you, if you look like he looked, oh, baby, I'd be on the first thing smoking, honey. He'd be looking for me in the daytime with a flashlight. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought about this episode. Let's do a live tonight, because it's Thursday when you're listening to this. Tonight at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, like we like to do. Get into it as we get into it. I will see y'all then. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.